Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining the H.C. Wainwright 2021 Global Life Science Conference. My name is Arthur He, and I'm an associate analyst at the H.C. Wainwright Research Department. While we're virtual this year, we're confident we're going to be able to provide value to you with over 425 companies presenting at this conference, as well as by your interactions through one-on-one meetings. As you know, H.C. Wainwright is a full-service investment bank dedicated to providing corporate finance, strategic advisory, and related services to public and private companies across multiple sectors and regions. We have a total of 18 publishing senior analysts and 493 companies covered across all sectors. Please visit hcwco.com for more information. From a logistics standpoint, please make sure to reference your virtual conference online portal that provides your individual links to your meetings and all presentations. Panels and all presentations are on demand and online the week of March 9 to 10. With that said, have a productive and enjoyable day. And I'd like to introduce our presenter, Mr. Anthony Fernando, who is the president and the CEO of Asensus Surgical, which specializes in digitalizing the interface between the surgeon and the patient to improve MIS through a new category of care called digital laparoscopy. Anthony, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Arthur. Hello, all. I'm also joined by Shameze Rampertab, who's our CFO as well, who will speak later.
Good morning, everyone.
Just to kick off, these are forward-looking statements. You can also find this on our website as well. So really today, I'm really excited to tell you about how we are bringing the benefits of surgical robotics to the laparoscopic surgical market by digitizing the interface between the surgeon and the patient, what we refer to as performance-guided surgery. Our mission is focused on elevating robotic surgery to drive predictable outcomes, to optimize resources and cost, and to work with hospital systems that seek to strive to employ innovative healthcare strategies. Importantly, we can bring all of these benefits to bear at a per procedure cost that is similar to laparoscopy, which is incredibly important in today's cost-conscious healthcare environment. Before we dive in, I want to share some highlights of who we are and what we have accomplished. Our digital laparoscopy platform called Senhance, we have global approvals in the US, Europe, Japan, Russia, and several other countries. We have active clinical sites with over 100 surgeons using our platform, and we performed over 4,000 cases overall with our platform at these global sites. And from a technology point of view, we've had many firsts with our platform, some very unique capability, which we will go into a little detail as we speak about who we are. Before we talk more about what we intend to do in surgery and our system, let me share with you our market opportunity, which will further underscore why we are laser focused on converting laparoscopic procedures to robotics technology. The market for advanced surgical robotics is large and fast growing and largely unpenetrated. Today, less than 5% of total surgical procedures are done robotically. One of the key factors that has limited global adoption is the high per procedure cost of current robotic offerings. Senhance has a cost-effective alternative that also adds materially to clinical intelligence uniquely, has the ability to drive adoption in these areas, particularly by converting traditional laparoscopy procedures to performance-guided surgery. I'd like to start by doing a quick reality check on the state of surgery today. 1 in 5 patients undergoing surgery has 1 or more complications. That's pretty bleak. Imagine if air travel or driving had even 1/10 this level of safety risk. Thankfully, aviation and the automobile industry have seen enormous technological advances, training, process improvement over the past 30 years. So why do we tolerate it in healthcare? When a complication happens during surgery, it decreases the hospital's profit margin to basically zero. That's also pretty bleak when you think about how much our society relies upon access to care. The surgical enterprise is seen as the epicenter of hospitals and the healthcare system. However, the operating room is an atmosphere that is conducive to unpredictable outcomes, cost, and inefficiencies. We have more power today and insights and intelligence from our cell phones than a surgeon has from current tools in the operating room. Something is clearly missing, and now more than ever, we need to raise the standard of surgery to address the gaps and deliver consistently superior surgery. When you think about how a surgeon operates, she moves through a series of defined steps, which is the same process for any complex human action. First, the surgeon begins by reviewing the patient's history, assessing diagnostic imaging, and getting physically and mentally prepared for the surgery. Second, as the surgeon moves into the procedure, she's continually utilizing her sensors to collect information in real time through sensory inputs, vision, touch, etc. Third, surgeons take in that information and analyze. This is where the surgeon processes the information in real time to generate insights. Fourth, the surgeon decides. This is where the surgeon can leverage all of the available information at their disposal to determine the optimal action. Fifth, the surgeon acts. The surgeon will execute the chosen action. Last is reflect, where the surgeon and the OR staff can assess the results. This is a perpetual mental process that occurs thousands of times until the surgery is complete, hopefully with an optimal outcome. Historically, technology innovation has been focused on surgical tools to improve the acting portion of the process. Think of surgical staplers, which make it easy and faster to divide or join tissue, or even robotics, which reduces the invasiveness when operating. Right now, surgical robotics and laparoscopy are only successful in addressing these 3 steps in the critical process: prepare, act, and reflect. Unlike many other industries, very little focus has been on improving the decision-making aspects of the process, which is crucial in high-pressure, high-variable situations, which happens repeatedly during any surgery. This is what really drives surgical outcomes. Technology is evolving, as we have seen in many other industries, such as autonomous driving, and we must leverage it better to address each step of the surgical process and in turn improve the predictability of performing surgery without complications. It's clear we should expect more from surgery and need tools to help increase safety and reduce the variability in surgical outcomes. This requires a holistic approach to addressing each phase of the surgical decision chain. A paradigm shift in technology now presents an opportunity to dramatically improve critical decision making, driving predictability, and helping level the field by gathering, analyzing, and presenting rich information and insights to empower surgeons of all levels, of all experience, with deeper situational knowledge. When we think about the evolution of surgery, historical advances in surgery have largely focused on bringing tools and techniques into the operating room to reduce the invasiveness of procedures. When we introduced digital laparoscopy, our intention was to help surgeons minimize surgical variability in a cost-effective manner. The next logical step in the progression is looking for ways to deliver superior outcomes, which we believe can be enabled by what we refer to as performance-guided surgery. Performance-guided surgery builds upon our foundation of digital laparoscopy by adding machine vision, augmented intelligence, and deep learning capabilities through all surgical phases to help guide improved decision-making, enriched collaboration, and enhanced predictability for all surgeons, independent of skill level and experience. We are excited to enter this era and pioneer the creation of a new standard for surgery moving forward. To meaningfully advance surgery, we need to augment the surgeon's capabilities across each of the 6 dimensions of the surgical decision chain that we spoke about earlier. As technology evolves, clinical intelligence scales up for all surgeons, which increases predictability and delivers consistently superior outcomes. If you use this lens to think about how surgery has progressed over the decades, you see how the introduction of new technology can add value to the surgeon and, in turn, the broader surgical experience. Laparoscopy was introduced in the early 80s with the goal of reducing the invasiveness of open surgery. While this new technique did reduce the invasiveness of some procedures, the technical capabilities were quite limited beyond natural human abilities. 2 decades later, robotic surgery emerged and introduced technology like robotic control, 3D visualization, and began to make a meaningful impact on the surgeon's capabilities in the act and sense phase. But the surgical value chain remained fairly static until the introduction of digital laparoscopy. By shifting the technology focus to digitize the interface between the surgeon and the patient, a new value dimension was created by increasing surgeon control and reducing surgical variability. Building from there, performance-guided surgery is the first surgical paradigm that addresses all 6 phases of the surgical decision chain with technology that is additive to the surgeon capabilities in these key phases: sense, analyze, and decide, that drive surgical outcomes. This includes things like advanced sensing, procedural insights, and perceptive real-time guidance. Performance-guided surgery now presents a real opportunity to unlock clinical intelligence capabilities, to mitigate surgical errors and complications, regardless of surgeon knowledge and experience. Just think about the value that this can create. Over time, technologies that you just saw will support what we call the surgical assurance framework. The first part of the framework is defined as intelligent preparation. Our machine learning models will take the findings from all of the procedures done utilizing our current Senhance intelligent surgical unit, such as tracking surgical motion, and team interactions to create a large and consistently improving database of surgeries and their outcomes to enable surgeons to be best informed about their approach and surgical setup. Second function of the framework is perceptive real-time guidance for interoperative tasks. Any surgeon performing a procedure with Senhance in any location should be able to benefit from assistance from the collective knowledge and rules-based performance of thousands of other successful Senhance procedures. Not only will this provide the surgeon with a pathway to better outcomes, but it will ultimately help reduce the cognitive load of the surgeons. Finally, by tapping into the vast amount of data captured during procedures, surgeons and OR staff will be able to get actionable assessments of their performance, giving them the information needed to improve performance over time. We intend on building a new standard of analytics to improve not only the skills of all surgeons, but improve towards best practice sharing that bridges a global surgeon community. What we have just described is our vision for what surgery can be and should be in the future. We are well positioned to lead this future. The Senhance system that we currently have it's on the market being clinically used is a robust digital laparoscopic platform, which is the foundation of performance-guided surgery. It is based on the principles of minimally invasive surgery, delivering a reliable, stable, safe, cost-effective surgical platform that addresses a global need as evidenced by its increasing global clinical utilization. The Intelligent Surgical Unit is a digital platform capable of machine vision and augmented intelligence, enabling real-time surgical analytics. We will introduce additional new applications in the coming quarters with the goal of driving surgical evolution towards perceptive real-time guidance. We will accomplish this with our global team as we continue to build our install base. Over the next 12 months, we will continue to advance the technology, establish credible clinical evidence through peer-reviewed publications, and expand the Senhance system global footprint. We will continue to focus and target our investments in driving innovation to create the future of surgery, which we call performance-guided surgery. With that, I would like to turn it over to Shameze to talk about a few key operational accomplishments. Shameze?
Great. Thank you, Anthony. We had a busy 2020 as well as the beginning of 2021 year. We ended the year having completed 10 Senhance lease agreements and initiated 9 clinical programs. And this amounted to us completing over 1,450 cases in 2020. We also received FDA clearance, CE mark approval, and completed our first surgical procedures with our Intelligent Surgical Unit that Anthony mentioned earlier. And the ISU uses the Augmented Intelligence and the Machine Vision system. We also received CE mark and completed our first surgical procedures for pediatric use of our 3mm instruments in Europe, and that was announced in the fall of 2020. In December of 2020, we announced we received Russian regulatory approval for the Senhance system. And just this week, just in the beginning of March, we received FDA clearance for the general surgery indication expansion. So we actually now cover all the general surgery indications. So we're really pleased about that achievement. And finally, we had a couple of news releases with regards to opening up our first Asia Pacific Training Center at Saitama Medical University in Japan, and a second European training facility at the Amsterdam Skills Center in the Netherlands. Next slide, Anthony, please. We also announced our preliminary unaudited numbers in the beginning of January for 2020, revenue of $3 to $3.2 million, We ended the year with cash of $17.5 million, but we did have a busy 2021 year so far, having raised significant money, and pro forma cash takes us into 2024. We will have our year-end results will come out on March 11th, and we will provide audited numbers at that time. Next slide, please. In terms of upcoming milestones, we will have a busy 2021 year. We expect to achieve some regulatory milestones. First is filing a 510K for the next generation intelligent surgical unit technology. We'll also be filing 510K for articulating instruments. On the peer-reviewed publication side, we'll also be busy here, hoping to see some publications come to fruition. First with some health economic studies comparing Senhance to traditional laparoscopy, as well as other robotic surgeries. We'll also have clinical performance, as well as operating room efficiency and surgeon economics. For the year, we also plan on continuing our momentum related to ISU usage and in the US, Europe, and into Asia. And finally, we will continue to expand our pediatrics use across Europe. Anthony, back to you.
All right, thank you, Shameze. Well, we hope we were able to share the vision and progress that we made at Asensus Surgical, and appreciate you taking the time to hear our story. Thank you very much.
Thank you.